Howdy, this is Woverdude here with another update for Way of the Monk. I released a new version onto the Skyrim Nexus a couple of days ago. This version is version 1.4b. It's the beta version of my upcoming version. I only released it as a beta so that I could have people test it out beforehand and make sure that the final edition is as good as it can be. Now I've made a number of changes for this edition. The major change is that I've split the Unarmored perk category into two separate categories, Defense and Combat. I've also added 16 entirely new perks as well as changed some already existing ones. An example of one that I changed would be Unarmored Stance. There originally was only one level in that perk and it was the level 100 perk, but now there's 3 separate levels in it and it's a low level perk. I also added an entirely new category of perks called the Stealth perks, and it has 2 subcategories, one for Unarmed and one for Unarmored. Now, it's worth noting that these perks require both a level in the appropriate skill, Unarmed or Unarmored, and in Stealth. So, for instance, Chokehold, to get it you would have to have a certain level in both Unarmed and Stealth. I've also changed both of these pillars, both the Pillar of Choice and the Pillar of Progress, to be updated to the new perks. Now I also made a couple of changes today, one of which is this chest.
Yes.
This isn't in 1.4b, that's already the version that's already on the Nexus, but it will be in the final edition. I put this chest here mainly so that it looks better, because it looked kind of silly with the books just out on the table, but also so that the items in here will respawn after a certain amount of time, and you can get them again if you've lost them. It adds a copy of the Robes of the Way, so that at lower levels, if you feel the game is unbalanced, you can equip that and be able to survive more easily. I also added the Perk Requirements book. Now this is in the current version that's on the Nexus. Let me show you. The Perk Requirements book has the requirements for each and every perk that's added by this mod. So for instance, Martial Master requires a level of 3 in Endurance or Softened Blows at an Unarmored level of 100. Now I'm also going to create an optional download for those of you who want to have some help with light armor. So several people suggested this before and I finally decided to do it. I'm going to make it optional on the Nexus only, not on Steam Workshop. But it's going to add a perk to the light armor tree that does the same thing as Fists of Steel. I'll call it Fists of Leather, just basic name. And it'll give you unarmed bonus for wearing light armor gauntlets. I tried making that today. In fact, I spent half an hour to an hour on it, and I did actually make the mod and was going to upload it to the Nexus until I tested it out and found out that for some strange reason, when the creation kit saved the mod, it deleted the entire light armor perk tree. And I have no idea why, so I'm going to have to start that from scratch again. Anyway, that's all the changes for this edition. If you try it and have any questions, comments, or suggestions, or think something's done incorrectly, then make sure and post in the comments here on YouTube or on one of the Workshop or Nexus pages, and I'll try to fix it for the final edition.